Will Empire of the Ants ever go from being a studio-based long-distance project to having maybe the occasional live transformation, live adaptation?
I think it would be fantastic, and I'd love to think that through sort of the support or the interest of listeners who can perhaps relate to the music and enjoy the style, then yes, we'd be able to pull off a gig either
You'd
here,
also
here
need
in Malta.
to recruit obviously more members.
Yes, more musicians, and we're experimenting with that as we speak. These past couple of days have been about introducing musicians to the sound, because I think it's fair enough to say that we're aware that it could be bigger than our own individual contributions. So to bring in other musicians and let it grow in that capacity, especially when musicians can embrace the sound, then yeah, I would love to perform it. I'm sure you would too. It would be a thrill to know that we've been working on a sound which, as you say, is studio based, and take it to that level, because obviously we admire excellent live musicians. It's
actually I picture in my head, if I had to put something in, try to visualize it, I can imagine that it would be something like a live setup, but with a heavy visual
content
accompaniment.
Yes, most definitely. Again,
seeing as how even now the songs that one finds online, they all have an accompanying video.
Yes.
So the visual side is obviously very important to Empire of the Ants, I suppose.
I think
what you do.
It's interesting, Mike, because in the old days, obviously, you'd buy a 7-inch single on vinyl, and you remember going to the record shops and you'd smell it, and you couldn't wait to get home and stylus on the vinyl and listen to that beautiful sound. Obviously, through the technological advancement of everything, it's interesting seeing the today's generations sort of going back and experimenting with what vinyl was all about. So in the old days, when you bought a 7-inch single, it always had this beautiful B-side, and the B-sides disappeared, obviously. Unfortunately, not enough of these movies have been classified as B-movies to disappear too, but even that is an interesting genre. Just like the B-sides disappeared, I feel that now, just as you spend time producing and creating the song and capturing it, so it's become almost the B-side to have an accompanying video, which is interesting because, just as you said, it does kind of get everybody who's in the various art mediums to think from a camera point of view, from a recording point of view, from a production point of view. So you have to dig deeper in order to produce videos that we're individually happy as artists, that we're happy with.
And they have to also obviously relate to the song itself and project more than just any like visual put together, basically.
That's right.
The easy way out would be the lyric video, but in actual terms, then going that one step further and putting together a proper video that reflects not only the song but also the image the band is trying to convey, because it's part of the marketing process as well. At the end of the day, in the old days, perhaps the video wasn't as important, but then you had the photo shoots for the magazines that were important.
Right. That's right.
The artists portrayed.
I think that's a really interesting side to sort of what we do as far as the music industry in inverted commas, because obviously there's larger markets where there's still careers to be made and broken, but I think it has become more fickle. To see publications like the NME or the Melody Maker going down simply because readership is shrinking, because they're being taken over by online publications, online magazines, which are doing the same job. It's just easier access. People don't actually go out and buy paper anymore.
Yeah, it's just delivered to your PC.
That's right.
Immediately.
I think this is how. And even speaking with others, even the pros out there who are or who have enjoyed, assigning to labels and they've made a name for themselves. There's definitely been a marked change in the entire industry, from entry point yes, I want to be in a band. Why do you want to be in a band? Because it's, you know, it can improve your social life. You can experience new things, record, perform, and then as time goes by and the years go by, you know, you do find yourself asking, you know, why do we do these things? And that's why I would say that, like initially, you know, our audience is ourselves. If we're happy with it, and other people can.
Well, you're at a point where you can actually do that for the fun of doing it for yourself.
for the love of doing it. Yeah.
Whereas obviously in other situations, other bands would probably be wanting to do it as a, you know, potential career move or something of the sort.
And that therein is the paradox, especially with, you know, for instance, the Malta UK paradigm, if you like. It's you know, it's very difficult. Obviously, it's difficult to crack it in the UK because there's so many people doing it and there's so much talent. I mean, you just take a trip on the London Underground and it's dripping with talent in the form of buskers. So yeah, have songwriters still got things to say? Has the lyric changed? Has the message changed? I mean, obviously, there is no generic answer. People make their choices on individual preference.